Alright, so here's my current situation. I have a reverse section, which is right over the bridges. You can see the gaps right there, double gaps. And then right here. That's the reversing section, just a little piece of track. It's necessary, obviously, for what comes next. But basically, I was trying to figure out how to detect that zone, or that block, I should say, without setting off this block and or that block. Because what was happening is with the BDL 168, you have 4 blocks in one zone. So if you trip any one of them and then reverse the polarity, I guess it trips all of them. So it was just showing a red line all the way across. And what it's supposed to be showing is a red line here for the section where the locomotive is right now. One in the center, that's the bridges. And then one in this tail end over here for this section here. The reason I have this upside down, by the way, is because of orientation, because the train's coming this way. So right now it's on this side, so you'll see it going in that order. Now, after doing some research and talking to some people online, the best solution that we found was to get, well, one of them was to either let the BDL 168 use one zone for one block for that entire thing, meaning I would lose one entire 4-block section if I wanted to have a reverse section in there, and I would have to have a reverser before the BDL, which would then reverse the polarity of all of these. So I didn't want to lose 3 of those blocks. So what I did is I bought a BPX, what is it called? A BXPA1 by Digitrax, which is supposed to be a 1-block, 1-zone detection unit, and it's also a reverser at the same time. So it's exactly for these kinds of problems. You just want to get one reversing section to be detected by itself. I ran the wires, so everything's independent of the rest of the layout and the rest of this stuff. And it's being powered directly from the booster. So there's no weird, possible potential problems here. But now what's happening is, this is acting the way it should. It's working perfectly. It's tripping at the right current, and it's showing me the difference. So when it goes into reversal, this turns green, and when it goes the other way, it turns back to red. But what's happening on the actual screen, the JMRI, I have it over here on the web server. What's happening is that as the train comes this way, it trips the middle block, which is the reversing section, releases that side, which is what it's supposed to do. But once it's in here, it turns red over there, and then it turns off. Sometimes. It's weird. It's not consistent. So let me just show you that real quick. So as the locomotive moves out of the section where it's at right now and moves into the next section, you see it change, but then it disappears. And then sometimes when I power the locomotive up again, it'll turn red again. Not this time, but sometimes it does. And then when it goes to the next, here's the weird thing, when it goes to the next block, it should release this, theoretically, completely, and then turn on just that. See, it just turned on and off. Turning on and off, see? And now when I go to the next block, watch what happens. The whole thing is on. I can't get it, even if I stop the train, I can't get it to release the reversing section. It's really strange the way that's behaving. So I need some help with that, because it should theoretically release this. Now when I go the other way, it acts differently. So when I go this way, once it gets into the reversing block, it lets go of the other side, and then it does the right thing, going that way. Again, going the other way, once it gets into the block, it gets in there, but if I stop the train, it releases it. So I don't know if it's like a power, like if I have to turn the dial up on the trip current, or there are two dials over here on this new unit. One is trip speed, and the other one's trip amps. So maybe it's an adjustment that I have to make there to allow the detection zone to stay on. I don't know. It's a little weird, and I was hoping this would be the solution, but obviously it's not 100%. It's better than it was before, but it's not 100%. So if you have any suggestions, recommendations, I would appreciate it. Okay, let's see what happens next. Thanks in advance.